1,400 years ago people knew the cubit, a measure suitable for short distances. Meters, kilometers, miles, and light years were not invented yet, however, we found their equivalent in the Quran. Meters, kilometers, miles, light years. Meters. Quran. Then in a chain which length is 70 cubits tie him up. It turned out that 70 cubits is equivalent to 32 meters, same number of the verse itself. 70 cubits is equivalent to 32 meters. The number of the verse is 32. How could an illiterate man who lived 1,400 years ago have known about meters? Kilometers. We also found kilometers in the Quran. The number of verses to iron in the Quran is the same number of kilometers to iron on earth. From the beginning of the Quran there are 5,100 verses to the iron verse in chapter iron. It turned out that iron on earth is concentrated at its core 5,100 kilometers below the surface. Earth, the interior. With a radius of almost 3,500 kilometers, 2,200 miles, Earth's core is about the size of the entire planet Mars. About one-third of Earth's mass is contained in the core, most of which is liquid iron alloyed with nickel and some lighter, cosmically abundant components, example, sulfur, oxygen, and controversially, even hydrogen. Its liquid nature is revealed by the failure of shear-type seismic waves to penetrate the core. A small, central part of the core, however, below a depth of about 5,100 kilometers, 3,200 miles, is solid iron. Iron is 5,100 kilometers below Earth's surface. It turned out that there are 5,100 verses to the iron verse in chapter iron. From Quran characters counter. The verse containing iron in chapter iron is actually verse number 5100 in the Quran. This is the same number of kilometers to iron on earth. Miles. We also found miles in the Quran. The number of verses between Kaaba and Al-Aqsa Mosque is the same number of miles between them geographically. Quran. O you who believe! The polytheists are polluted, so let them not approach the sacred mosque after this year of theirs. And if you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you from His grace, if He wills. Allah is aware and wise. Quran. Glory to Him who journeyed His servant by night, from the sacred mosque, to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, whose precincts we have blessed, in order to show Him of our wonders. He is the listener, the beholder. The verses that contain the sacred mosque, Kaaba, and Al-Aqsa Mosque are separated by 767 verses. From Quran characters counter. 2030 minus 1263 is equal to 767. The verses that contain the sacred mosque, Kaaba, and Al-Aqsa Mosque are separated by 767 verses. It turned out that geographically they separated by 767 miles. Kaaba 21.4225 degrees north, 39.8262 degrees east. Aqsa 31.7761 degrees north, 35.2358 degrees east. Using coordinate distance calculator to get the distance between the two locations. The distance between the two mosques is 767 miles. Sirius is 8.61 light-years away from Earth. 8.61 light-years is equivalent to 861 centi-light-years. So distance to Sirius is 861 centi-light-years. It turned out that between the word star, in the first verse, and the word earth, in verse 32 there are 861 letters. 286,099 minus 285,238 is equal to 861. The word star and word earth are separated by 861 letters. Today we know that Sirius is 861 centi-light-years away from Earth.